Hello everyone, this is Elisha Kraus and I'm going to explain to you what my t-shirt is all about because it's 19th Amendment Day, Women's Equality Day, and I just wanted to say hello to everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure if you're watching on YouTube to subscribe, and if you're watching on Instagram where I tend to have a lot more views, thank you Instagrammers, really appreciate that. But also need you guys to go over on to my YouTube channel and subscribe, pretty please. So today is hashtag Women's Equality Day. Everyone from the White House to Kamala Harris and a whole bunch of other people are talking about it. And the t-shirt that I'm wearing is a way to recognize this day. I'm going to be wearing out later today when I'm doing, super feminist things like shopping at Costco for my family. And I wanted to wear it today and tell you guys a little bit about the Network of Enlightened Women. They provide me with these really neat shirts every year. The last couple of years, they've given me the shirt that say, "This is what a conservative looks like," to which I love to wear to events all around LA. Back in the day, pre-COVID, when we could have events, those were nice days. Memories. Anyway, so this shirt says "Conservative Women Vote," and I do want conservative women to vote. And I wanted to hear from you guys how conservative women plan on voting in 2020. I think sometimes for conservative women, especially, it's hard for us to latch on to a guy, and I think that that's actually the beauty of being a conservative woman is we're not single issue voters. We do have issues that we care deeply about. A lot of us care deeply about the issue of life and protecting life at all stages. In the womb and once it enters out of utero and into the world. That was an issue that a lot of people on Twitter and Instagram were giving me feedback of how they choose to vote. And a lot of people are saying, like, there's guys and gals running for office that I don't necessarily love, that I don't necessarily agree with on either side of the aisle. And some of us are going to be faced with the decision of having to hold our nose and vote. And I think that this is something that consistently happens with conservative women and of not just being gung-ho about one guy or one girl because we see the issues, we see the flaws, and because we're complex, emotional, successful, educated, savvy women that can look at a guy and be like, don't really like your tweets so much, or don't like what you've done here, but we have to vote. We have to make our voices heard, especially on the local level. A lot of women, for example, so the top three issues, I'll try to circle back, sorry. The top three issues really were, for conservative women that commented on my social media, were pro-life, pro-First Amendment, which, hey, I love giving speeches on that on college campuses, First Amendment rights, and then security and Second Amendment were close third, but that was really tied with educational choice. And I think that this is an area in which conservatives have really failed at reaching out across the aisle and helping women from all backgrounds and all ethnicities and all socioeconomic backgrounds because education is so important. And I am someone that is a college dropout that was homeschooled for all 12 years. I was actually chatting with an old homeschool buddy of mine from Texas who sends her kids to kind of like a mixed program. I won't say her name because I don't know if she wants to out herself, but they go, I think, Tuesday, Thursday, and she homeschools Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's an incredible option, even in the days of pre-COVID. Now Texas is opening, so she's able to do that again. And we talked about, like, being lifelong homeschoolers. We're huge fans of homeschooling. But because we are smart women and mothers now, we also recognize that homeschooling isn't for everyone. So I'm not going to be the person that tries to force homeschooling on everyone, much like public sector teacher unions try to force failing public schools on everyone. And education is a top issue for conservative women out there, whether they're moms or not, because we recognize that when our nation's children have the opportunity, the equal opportunity to succeed and to grow and have their best educational choice and future, that's going to help us all economically, scientifically, with innovation, with growth, with success, with decrease in crime, with further growing of positive families. I mean, there's so much data behind when a kid even just completes high school, how much more their life is going to succeed. When a kid then completes college, and this is coming from someone that doesn't necessarily believe that everybody needs to go to college, but a good basic education for those K through 12 years is so key. And it's an issue that I think conservative women and a lot of women on the other side of the aisle should be able to agree on and can agree on. It is so atrocious to me that a child's educational future is solely decided by their zip code in which they live. I live in Los Angeles. I love my house, but I don't live in a neighborhood that has a great local LAUSD school. Even people during this COVID crisis, I've heard that they thought that their kids went to a decent LAUSD school, have learned that the teachers are just unchecked out and not available and not even showing up on their Zooms on class, like for class on time. There's IT issues, there's teachers' hours issues, there's issues with curriculum or special needs. No education policy, it should be a one size fit all. And that was a very consistent top three issue that I saw that women are concerned about, and really disenchanted with how both sides have handled it in a lot of ways. And I would encourage women to get out and vote, because a lot of educational decisions are going to be made in your state and local areas. I mean, look at this COVID crisis, right? We've seen a lot of educational decisions that are not being made at the federal level. They are being made at the state and the local level. And so be sure to vote on that. Another issue, of course, everybody knows sincerely how passionate I am about pro-life issues and how passionate I am about protecting all life. A part of how I think protecting life is women arming themselves and women learning how to protect themselves. I was actually at our family doctor the other day for the girls' regular wellness checks, and I saw that they had a couple of posters up for self-defense. And I was like, that's awesome. I think it's incredible to empower women to protect themselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And so I think that protecting life should start in the womb. By not enabling people to murder innocent life in the womb. And I think that protecting life should continue through policies that make sure that people in power are not abusing that power, like we've seen politicians do. I mean, you have that happening in Belarus. Thank God we don't have an evil dictator that's literally abusing people and targeting them and harassing them and trying to kill them for standing against him. But also, making sure that people in power, like police officers, are getting the proper training that they need, the proper transparency, and the proper accountability. And then that security goes to the two-way rights and the rights of people, I don't know, in Los Angeles or Kenosha, Wisconsin, to not be afraid of mobs and riots that are going to come down and destroy their livelihoods, destroy their churches, their homes, and their families. And security was a broad issue that a lot of women seem to consistently care about and are concerned about. And the pro-life issue as well. I get that people are concerned and really not sure about pulling the trigger for a guy and I get that. I'm not gonna tell you how to vote. Some of you guys are like Trump 2020 all the way, but there are a lot of women that are like, I cannot bring myself to vote for somebody like Kamala Harris that is okay with abortion past 20 weeks. 1,000% get that. Some of you have said, I cannot bring myself to vote for Joe Biden because of the accusations against him and how he seems like he's kind of a creeper, and also how he doesn't represent me, with social or economic issues. I also get that. And those same women are also saying, I also have difficulties voting for Trump. I'm not going to tell you guys how to vote. I understand your perspective. I think that a woman's right to vote, everyone's right to vote, is something that we should do. And I would also encourage you to do a little Google search. I know my viewers and my followers are super duper smart, but everything doesn't ride on the White House. If you are a conservative woman like myself, you also care about smaller government and more localized government, and government kind of just leaving us alone to do what we need to do as women to grow and succeed and to raise our families and pursue our careers and live the American dream. And in order to do that, we need government to get out of the way. And how you get government out of the way is not giving the executive branch more power. It's recognizing the importance of those local branches, of all three branches of government, and to make sure that you are voting down the ballot, guys. You have to do it for men and women. I, in 2012, ran a congressional campaign back in my home district of Oklahoma, and I was green. I was a rookie. I met some amazing people, and it was really impactful for me and my husband, because I'd say that they got two for the price of one, to drive up and down the district and to meet people and to engage in a political process that honestly at times was super disheartening. But it was also very revealing in that if that was happening in my very small, not geographically small, but population-wise small district, and there were frustrations that I was seeing even in the Republican Party of the candidates and how selfish and short-sighted and sexist and all these things that the opponents were at the time. Imagine taking the entire Congress and multiplying all of those races that you experience every 2 years. And I remember looking at the stats of the voters and the frequency of voters in that area and being really disappointed and shocked at how many people tend to go in and statistically, and this happens in California too, it happens in California, it happens in Oklahoma, everywhere, that they go in and they vote for the guy at the top. And this typically ended up happening, by the way, most of the time during the Obama years in 2008 and then in 2012. People would go in and vote Obama Biden, and then they wouldn't vote for those down ballot races. But those down ballot races, guys, are so crucial and so important, especially when women are on the ballot, because women tend to run for school board and city council and mayor and other roles that are super important and impactful in your everyday life for you, your family, your school, your business, your church. And you need to be aware, you need to be informed, and you need to vote down ballot. So, yay for the 19th Amendment. I keep this entire time, I'm distracting myself by thinking of that line in Hamilton where the Schuyler sisters are like, Thomas Jefferson, everyone's not created equal, and, if we ever meet him, we're going to compel him to include women in the sequel. Sorry, Lin-Manuel Miranda, if I just totally biffed all of your lyrics. Hamilton is constantly playing all the time, and we're going to be doing American history when we start homeschool after Labor Day. So I still need to talk to you guys about homeschooling, but I just wanted to take a moment today to recognize the 19th Amendment, to encourage women to get out there and vote, to encourage peaceful dialogue and debate and discussion amongst you and your friends that are maybe across all sides of the aisle, and to say thank you to Network of Enlightened Women for encouraging diversity and thought and helping conservative women on campuses all across the country, much like Young America's Foundation does, because they feel underrepresented and unprotected on campuses. So go vote. Let me know if you're a conservative woman while you're voting, and be sure to subscribe and comment. Thank you, guys.